So as John mentioned, the opening song, Love, Serve, Remember, is a song that we were introduced to through Sufi circles. And often there could be some whirling dervishes involved, but mostly you'd be in a circle and you'd be facing somebody and you'd sing these words to one another. Why have I come to earth? Do I remember? Why have I taken birth? Why have I come? You change partners, you'd sing it back to one another and then you'd rotate and you'd sing it to another one. And singing that song brings deep tears to me because it brings me to a place to really ask myself that question. Why am I here? And sometimes that question is, well, God, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? But when I let that sink into my heart and then follow it up with this idea of I'm here to love, to serve, and remember. To me, that is it. I am here to love, I'm here to serve, I'm here to remember that I'm here to love and serve. And these lyrics flow from a perspective that we have some choice in our arrival here. And I certainly don't have a definitive answer about that question. I am open to the possibility that our souls have made a choice before we incarnated. But I can equally consider that our arrival here is totally beyond our ability to influence, that our births are a random result of biological circumstance. In the end, though, whatever brought us here, we are here. And we have the ability to make many, many choices about what we do while we are here, for good or for ill. There exists a Tibetan legend that Jamie mentioned. It's called the tale of the Shambala Warrior. And this tale speaks to a basic human wisdom that can help solve the world's problems. This tale does not belong to any one culture or region or religious tradition, though the thread of this story can be found in many of them throughout history. So this tale is what's called the sacred path of the warrior. The sacred warrior conquers the world not through violence or aggression, but through gentleness, courage, and self-knowledge. The warrior discovers the basic goodness of human life and radiates that goodness out into the world for the peace and sanity of others. Now, according to spiritual legend, Shambhala is an inaccessible promised land of this world, but not located in this world. It exists on the very edge of reality, having a foothold in both the physical and the metaphysical realms, mediating between God's will and the free will of humanity. And this legend is ancient. It's very, very old, because we are not the first to struggle with enormous difficulties. Yet in many ways, this story, this tale, feels particularly relevant for the times in which we now find ourselves. You know, and like many spiritual teachings, including the Bible, the stories told are not generally meant to be taken literally, but rather to be used as tools that help to tune the heart and inspire the mind. Environmentalist and activist, author and scholar of Buddhism, Joanna Macy, has worked with this tale for some time, and what follows is her telling of this ancient wisdom teaching. So you can get ready for a little story time right now. There comes a time when all life on earth is in danger. Barbarian powers have arisen. Although they waste their wealth in preparations to annihilate each other, they have much in common. Weapons of unfathomable devastation and technologies that lay waste the world. It is now, when the future of all beings hangs by the frailest of threads, that the kingdom of Shambhala emerges. You cannot go there, for it is not a place. It exists in the hearts and minds of the Shambhala warriors. But you cannot recognize a Shambhala warrior by sight, for there is no uniform, no insignia, there are no banners, and there are no barricades from which to threaten the enemy, for the Shambhala warriors have no land of their own to defend. Always, they move on the terrain of the barbarians themselves. Now comes the time when great courage is required of the Shambhala warriors, moral and physical courage, for they must go into the very heart of the barbarian power and dismantle the weapons. To remove these weapons in every sense of the word, they must go into the corridors of power where the decisions are made. The Shambhala warriors know they can do this because the weapons are manomaya. Those weapons are mind and man-made. And this is very important to remember. The weapons that are made by the human mind can be unmade by the human mind. The Shambala Warriors know that the dangers that threaten life on earth do not come from evil deities or supernatural powers. They arise from our own choices and relationships. So now, the Shambala Warriors must go into training. And you may wonder, how do they train? They train in the use of two weapons. The weapons are compassion and insight. Both are necessary. We need the first one, compassion, because it provides the fuel. It moves us out to act on behalf of others. But by itself, it can burn us out. So we need the second one, that of insight as well. Insight provides the dependent co-arising of all things. It lets us see the battle is not between good people and bad people, for the line between good and evil runs through every human heart. We realize that we are all interconnected, as in a web, and that each act done with pure motivation affects the entire web, bringing consequences we cannot measure or even see. But insight alone can seem too cool to keep us going, so we need as well the heat of compassion, our openness to the world's pain. Both weapons or tools are necessary to the Shambala Warrior. Now, the question before each and every one of us then is, where do we land on this quest? Do we take up the mantle of the Shambala Warrior for ourselves? Do we choose to engage these times with our most compassionate hearts, coupled with the clarity of our insight? Do we remember why we have come to earth, why we have taken birth? You know, it's been said before, we are the future we have been waiting for. May we rise up in numbers never before realized. May we all become warriors of the heart.